Well, hey, folks, we are Equivion, and we help small businesses and businesses with their taxes, their bookkeeping, their accounting. I'm here with David and John, and we're going to talk a little bit about if you have employees in other states, W-2 employees, 1099 contractors in other states, or if you have sales tax issues in other states, you're in the right place, genuinely. That's a specialty to us, and I just want to introduce John and David. They are our CPAs, and you guys came from a Big Four firm, and you have some capabilities that your typical small business accountant just doesn't have. Plus, you help them save in taxes. But, David, why don't you fill us in this multi-state thing? Walk us through, what are the problems they have? What type of solutions do you guys have? Just help us understand what does that mean and how can you help them? And introduce yourself a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Rob. My name is David. I'm one of the partners here at Equivion, and I heavily focus and specialize in multi-state taxation. Prior to joining Equivion, I was on the multi-state tax team at Deloitte, helping big corporations in the billion dollars net worth with their state tax compliance. And I mean, Rob, there's 50 states out there. There's a compliance for each and every single one in terms of income tax and your sales tax. So we have to make sure that you're checking all the right boxes in all the states you need to be filing in. So there's two different types of needs that you need to be worrying about. There's income tax and then there's sales tax. For income tax, are you making money in those states? Do you have a physical presence in those states? Do you have a 1099? Do you have a W-2 employee in those states? Those are all factors that can be triggering physical nexus in that state. And for sales tax, well, I mean, are you making sales of large amounts into the state? How many sales and transactions are you making into that state? There might not be physical nexus, but there's economic nexus. And we at Equivion are prepared to do a nexus study and see where you need to be filing. So you're hitting all of those compliance requirements.
That's awesome. A whole bunch of questions just popped up in my mind. And I know whenever guys like me, and I'm on the marketing team, I help you guys just engage with people. I take really smart, highly capable folks like you and try and talk down to dummies like me so that you can actually help me out. And I'm sure if you're on our site looking, we want to look at your tax return. We want to take a look at your books, your tax return. And for us, we do a consultation. And David and John will take a look at your situation. We do a little snapshot of what your business looks like. We're going to take a look at your cash. We're going to look at your bookkeeping, and we want to look at your whole inventory system. And we make this easy. We just said that we're going to do a lot when we do an analysis or a free consultation, but truly what our goal is to not disrupt your business at all, but to look at it and say, hey, what kind of leadership can we bring? How do we help you save in taxes? How do we help you establish a better chart of accounts, a better balance book to build a more scalable operation and to avoid problems with each state, with the IRS? And this is where, I mean, the agencies they're excited about this spot. But so I say that because I got a couple of questions for you. And I know whenever a guy like me starts asking you questions, it's not that you have it stored up here and you know everything right away. Sometimes you just know where to find the answers, right? So if I ask a question you don't know on the spot like this, it's fine. But you talked about e-commerce, right? And some of the basic questions that people have, maybe they have a Shopify site, or maybe they're selling courses, and those courses that they sell they're doing really well and they're in multiple states. If you sell courses online and you have people buying them in different states, is that generally triggering a Nexus event? How does that work with people? And then how does it look like for Shopify? Like what are some of those thresholds that people should know? By golly, I should really be paying attention and calling Equivion.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's a famous saying in the multi-state taxation group that any question you ask, the answer is it depends, right? Because there's so many states, there's so many different tax laws out there. It's so complex, right? But let's say you have a simple course online and you're located in Chicago or you're located in California, wherever you're located, and you're selling out of one office, right? If you're selling to state B, state C, now we have to start looking. There's a federal law called Public Law 86 272, and we want to make sure that you qualify for that statute. What that statute is going to do for you is it's going to protect you from filing in that state and apportioning any income to that state. And with that, we're able to see if you only were soliciting sales in that state, you do not have a physical presence, if you do not have an economic presence, if you trigger or qualify for all those, we will make sure that that state's income, is not being apportioned to it, but you're picking it up at home and you don't need to file. Right? There's a host of qualifications that we're going to look and make sure you qualify, so you're not paying two types of taxes across two different types of states for the same income.
Yeah. How about in sales tax and Shopify? I know that that's kind of a complex thing sometimes. What are some things that people should know of? When do problems start to arise and nexus events start to occur, and how should people be thinking about that as they move forward?
Definitely. Yeah. So sales tax is a little bit different than your income tax. With income tax, we look mostly for physical presence. And we're trying to exclude ourselves from using that public law. For sales tax, there's a bunch of different types of nexuses that can be triggered, even if you're a Shopify seller, even if you're an Amazon seller, even if you're an Etsy seller, right? What we look for is physical presence and economic presence. Physical presence is if you're only there, well, if you are in the state or have a W 2 employee or have a 1099 employee in that state, you're triggering nexus. You need to be collecting and filing, remitting your sales tax on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. But we also have to look at our economic sales tax. Different states have different thresholds. The most common one is being $200,000 of sales or 100 transactions or 200 transactions into that state. With that being said, if you hit any of those nexus thresholds, you are required to file and remit the sales tax you collected. And we at Equivion, we have a host of tools that can help you nail down your liability. We have a heat map to show you where you're approaching your liability, where you should be filing, or where you shouldn't even be worrying about. So feel free to reach out to us with that free consultation. We can definitely look into that for you.
So if you have sales tax questions, or if you have employees in other states or anything like that, book a consultation, and we'll just ask some great questions and find out if we can help you. And no matter what, if you do engage with us, we know how hard it can be to switch accountants. We do this all day, every day. We will make it so smooth, and we know all of the little areas that we have to be careful of just to make sure that things go well. So book a consultation. And John, do you have anything to add there? Any thoughts that popped to mind, or anything that I didn't ask here, guys? Even Dave?
No, I think Dave hit the nail on the head. We're experts in sales tax. If there's any issues that your business has experienced with sales tax, rest assured that we can solve them for you.
Yeah, you guys are in
Definitely.
good hands. And you're at Deloitte. I mean, you came from the big dogs, and that's all I would say, folks. These are some of my favorite accountants, and you'd be in good hands. So book a consultation, and we appreciate your time, folks.
Thank you.